إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الحديث حديث محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار ثم أما بعد. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the most virtuous fasting after the month of Ramadan is Allah's month, which is Muharram, the month that we are presently in. So again, the most virtuous fast after the blessed month of Ramadan is fasting in Muharram. So I advise myself and I advise the brothers to take up some extra fasting in this month, because it is from the most virtuous of fast after the blessed month of Ramadan. And may Allah grant us the ability to do good deeds and acts of worship, and may Allah reward us greatly with good, and may Allah forgive us all our shortcomings. Ameen. Thumma mabad. Today, a topic which is causing mischief, which is causing havoc, to the extent that some of the Mufassirin, they mention that the tail carrier is worse than the magician. This topic that is causing fitna and havoc in the Ummah, in our lands and the lands abroad. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, whoever can guarantee the chastity of what is between his two jawbones and what is between his two legs, I guarantee paradise for him. So the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam admonishes us to chastise concerning what is between our jawbones and what is between the two legs, concerning our tongue and our private parts, whereby if we chastise these things, we will be granted paradise. Also, he sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when the son of Adam wakes up in the morning, all of his limbs defer to the tongue, and they say, fear Allah regarding us, for we are only a part of you. If you are upright, we are upright. If you are crooked, we are crooked. So here the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam informed us of a serious matter, that each one of us, the sons of Adam, mankind in general, male and female, When we rise on the morning, all of our limbs start to defer to the tongue. And they say, fear Allah regarding us, for we are only a part of you. If you are upright, we are upright. If you are crooked, we are crooked. So the whole of the body, it is as if it is held ransom by the tongue. Because the body parts, they know the severity and the harm, and also the goodness that the tongue can bring forth. So they say to the tongue, fear Allah regarding us. Again, it is as if the whole of the body is held ransom by the tongue. Also, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the talebearer will not enter paradise. And in some narrations it mentions the gossip mongerer will not enter paradise. So again, this topic of tale carrying, whereby we use our speech to take it to different people, whereby you go by one individual and you talk something, or you hear something, and then you go by another individual and you talk something of what you heard, or probably what you did not hear, carrying false information, or even if it is sometimes true. As the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do not carry speech about your brother, do not hold speech about your brother of that which you know he would not like. And then they ask, what about if what we are saying about him is true? If what you are saying about him is true, then it is backbiting. And other than that is slander. So even if it is something true we are mentioning about our brother behind his back, so long as we know he would not like it, then we should not mention it, because it falls under backbiting. A statement about tale carrying, and this was written by Abu Musa Rahabat. And Abu Musa Rahabat, he is one of the students of knowledge recommended by the scholars, and he did a video link with us here some time ago. Some of the brothers attended. Again, this is written by Rahabat, and he states, at times it is perhaps difficult to identify namima, tale carrying, in real time as it happens, causing good people to get swept away in it. Upon reflection, this difficulty in identifying it is often due to a number of factors. From them, good thoughts or closeness to the namam, the tale carrier. If the tale carrier is someone trusted or loved by the listener, then it may be difficult for them to perceive that the namam, the tale carrier, is pulling them into namima, and subsequently whatever comes along with it of transgression. The ability of the namam tale carrier to camouflage their namima and make it appear as nasiha or innocent speech. And he quotes Sheikh Fawzan. And Sheikh Fawzan said the definition of an-namima is transmitting speech between people in a manner that would incite against another. Then he goes on. a previous ill thought, whether justified or unjustified, that the listener may have about the one the tale carrying is about. This does not remove the fact that this action is repugnant and one which we must be aware of. What the listener must realize is that the one who is given to tale carrying more often than not will eventually tale carry to someone else about him or her, if they have not done that already. And he mentions, as the Salaf would say, whoever tale carries to you will tale carry about you. The Salaf understood the great harm caused when tale carrying is listened to and allowed to spread. He mentions that Yahya ibn Abu Kathir said, the tale carrier and liar causes more harm within an hour than the magician does within a year. Again, Rahabat cites that Yahya ibn Abu Kathir, he said the tale carrier, the liar, causes more harm within an hour than the magician does within a year. Tale carrying can destroy families, friendships, brotherhood, and communities. Al-Fudail said, when backbiting appears, brotherhood for Allah will disappear, and at that time you will like things platted with gold and silver, wooden on the inside, merely looking good on the outside. Our scholars have taught us how to deal with the namam when he comes, and a summary of methods is as follows. For starters, as a part of the punishment for the offense of tale carrying, the tale carrier is not to be believed. Munir, the freed slave of Fadl ibn Abu Ayash, said, I was sitting with Wahab ibn Munabir when a man came and said, I passed by so and so and he was speaking ill of you. I passed by so and so and he was speaking ill of you. He, Wahab, became angry and said, this did not Shaitan find a better messenger than you? Before I departed from him, the person who had allegedly spoken ill of him came and greeted Wahab with the salam. He returned the salam to him, extended his hand to him, and sat him next to himself. Some of our scholars have taught us that when someone carries tales to you about another brother, then bring the other brother in front of him and make him repeat it to him directly. If he refuses to repeat it, then know that he is from the liars. If he does not repeat it, and it turns out that what he said about the brother is true, then you are able to advise your brother and try to bring about his rectification. And know, as was mentioned by Al-Yamani, know that Allah causes some of the sincere to fall into error as a trial for others, to see if they will follow to the truth and abandon his statement, or will they be deluded by his virtue and nobility. Hence, advise the tale carrier. And again he quotes something from Sheikh Fawzan, who said, it is obligatory upon the believer, when he hears speech regarding a Muslim, that he is not to suffice with hearing it and remain silent. Rather, he is to advise the speaker and clarify to him that this is haram and it is backbiting. May Allah grant us sincerity and remove anything that will harm the brotherhood of the Muslims from statements, actions, manners, and disbeliefs and beliefs. Written by Abu Musa Rahabat. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu, lahul mulku wa lahul hamd, yuhyi wa yumitu wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala thumma mabad. Again, the main point, the main topic of the khutbah today is for us to take the advice of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that is for us to guard, to chastise, to take control and not let loose that which is between our jawbones, the tongue. And a side benefit from that, to guard and chastise our private parts. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do you know who is bankrupt? Or do you know who is the bankrupt person? They said, the companions, they said, the one without money or goods is bankrupt. The one who does not have wealth, we would consider this one to be bankrupt. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, verily the bankrupt person of my ummah, verily the bankrupt person of my ummah are those who come on the day of resurrection with prayers, fasting, and charity, but also with insults, slander, consuming wealth, shedding blood, and beating others. The oppressed will each be given from his good deeds. If his good deeds run out before justice is fulfilled, then their sins will be cast upon him and he will be thrown into the hellfire. So here the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned concerning someone who is bankrupt, that this person will come on the day of judgment having prayers, performing salah, having fasting, having done charity and other good deeds, but they insult people, they slander others, they consume wealth, they shed blood, and they beat others, the oppressed. But here I want us to focus on oppressing those with the tongue. Because as he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that person will come with prayers and fasting and charity, doing good deeds. But they came with insults of the tongue, and the slander of the tongue, and the backbiting and the namima of the tongue, the tail carrying and the mischief of the tongue. The oppressed will each be given from his good deeds. So all those who we slander and we backbite and we insult and we defame unjustly with our tongues, that we fail to chastise and take hold of, those who we oppress will come on the day of judgment, and they will be given from our good deeds. Meaning that to the level that we oppress them, our good deeds will be taken from us and given to them. And if his good deeds run out before justice is fulfilled, then their sins will be cast upon him. So if we oppress someone with our tongue, and we come on the day of judgment with fasting and salah and charity and good deeds, and we insult and we slander and we backbite and we carry news and we cause mischief in the brotherhood, the oppressed will be allowed to take from our good deeds, or our good deeds will be given to those whom we oppress. And if our good deeds run out, then the sins of those whom we oppressed will be given to us, the oppressors, until justice is fulfilled, until those who are oppressed are given justice. We may not find justice in this life. We may not get justice in this life, but for certain, Allah is just. Allah is Al-Adil, the just. Allah is most wise. Allah is knowing of everything. Justice in the hereafter is not something to take lightly. But here, the oppressed will be given justice on that day. And then it mentions about the oppressor, and he will be thrown into the hellfire. And this is found in Sahih Muslim. May Allah protect our private parts. And may Allah protect our speech from evil. And may Allah make it not for us to be like the tale carriers, the gossip mongers, and the bankrupt individuals. Ameen. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. بارك الله فيكم. حياكم الله. جزاك الله خير.